Eccola.
Ciao Valeria, buongiorno.
Ciao, buonasera.
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 Dove siete?
Allora, noi siamo adesso in provincia di Pavia, a Voghera.
Ok.
Sì. E tu invece?
Io sono a Bologna, sono tornata da poco. Sto cercando di capire dove posizionare il mio telefono.
Ma
Ok.
lui sta benissimo.
Va benissimo così, buonasera a tutti a questo punto, alle persone che si sono già collegate, a quelle che si stanno per collegare. Should we switch to English then?
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
Perfect.
What do you think, Valeria?
Yeah, we can. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Let's start. So, welcome everybody. We are Broccoli. I am Emanuele, and
I'm Angelica.
And she's Angelica. We are a benefit corporation, and we create gift products, souvenir products, ethically made, that they tells a message of Italy, of a different Italy. So you can find our products on our website. And here we are so much pleased to have with us invited Valeria from Vita Semplice. We will have a talk with her, and we are so curious to know more about your project, Valeria, and we have prepared a list of a lot of questions for you, because we are very, very curious, and yes, we want to start, if you agree, with some questions.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, first of all, we wanted to talk with you because we share our passion for Italy, and we both like to show a different image of Italy, to show Italy in a different way. So in that regard, we would like to ask you, why have you started with this amazing project? I mean, what was your driver? How the idea was born?
This is an old story that probably many know, many of my followers and friends, that is related to my nonna, because she was born in New York after her dad moved there. And eventually she came back to Sicily, where she grew up, her family. So I spent my entire life with her, listening her speaking in English. So I was so fascinated about the language, but at that time it was not that important to learn a second language, when I was like 8 years old. So I was listening her call on the phone in the night of like my nonna speaking with her siblings in America. And when she passed away, I was so angry, because I thought I could be bilingual today. And I had to put many effort in learning English instead. So finally I decided to move to Palermo, where I have the chance of studying languages. And environment in Palermo was very multicultural. I met a lot of people from all over the world, and I did my internship in a school. So the best part was to face other culture and understand them. So I remember asking a lot of questions because I was curious. For example, we had a group of Muslims during the Ramadan, and I was so curious to know of that period where they couldn't eat or touch themselves. For me, it was interesting, this process, not of understand, but at the same time make people feel comfortable in another culture that is Italian, so my culture. But lives happen, and then I moved to Bologna. I changed everything. I studied marketing. I work as a project manager, but COVID arrived. I don't know how to say in English, to rimescolare le carte.
Reshuffle.
Yeah, so I reshuffled everything, and I had a Taiwanese friend, and I told her, can I teach you Italian in this time where I'm unoccupied? I don't have any job and I'm bored at home during lockdown. And she said, why not? And then she say, you are very good as a teacher. You should teach. You can teach in this platform. And I started teaching in a platform. And then I thought that this could become a real job, a real something around me, how I am as a person. So I did a big interview to my students to like choose the name, Vita Semplice in Italia. And yes, this is how everything started. The part of the retreats, if you refer to that, it's something that arrived later because like my students started to come to visit me. So I thought, okay, I can even organize retreats for people that are not my students, but who want to really explore Sicily in a different way.
Exactly. And when was that?
When I started teaching was in 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
My first retreat was 1 year ago. It was a pilot retreat with the students that I knew, and everything was positive. It was excited. He bought a little house in Sicily. So I thought I have this gift of like making people feel invited and welcomed, and I want to do something more. And this year I have 4 more retreats in Sicily and 1 in Bologna. So yeah, life changes very quickly.
Yeah. That's very nice. And what were the first thoughts of your students when they started to do these retreats? What were the first things they said?
Sorry, I missed you.
What were the first things or the first thoughts from your students when they started to do the retreats? And when they went to Sicily, what were the first things they said?
When they arrived?
Yes.
You mean? Probably they say that that part of Sicily is not how they imagined before, because Sicily in the imaginary of people is usually a dry country, very yellow, very hot. But my part in the northeast is very green because it is in a natural park. So this makes the difference for them, I think. Seeing this like strong green nature, and yeah, you have this feeling of colors, the blue of the sky and the sea and the green of the woods. And yeah, I think this is the first thing they notice.
Nice. And I'm going to ask you maybe a funny thing. What is the most common stereotype about Italy, which is not true according to your experience?
Okay. I was thinking about it, and I would probably will say something negative, but I don't care. If you don't, no, okay, I prepared 2. So the first one is more soft. That's during the last retreat, one of the students say, but you Italians eat like this all the time. And I say, of course not. I will be like a dad at this point. So we eat pasta, we love pasta, but we don't eat pasta every day. And then I think I don't like to speak in general. I don't like cliché. So I think everybody has his own habits. For example, for me, I love pasta. When I eat pasta, I have a big plate of pasta, but I don't have it every day. I don't eat like in a restaurant every day. So the first cliche is this. And the second one, it is a bit negative about Italian, is that everybody thinks that Italians are always happy, always they know how to live dolce vita, how's like foreigners go, but I think it's not that true. And I've learned this from Argentinian people who last year came to my hometown, and I saw this big difference between them being able to make a party with a little speaker Bluetooth and a mate tea, and Italians looking at them, like watching, like aside. And I say, why? We are so focused on what other people think about us. We are in a Catholic country, so probably we are too concerned about like the judgment of others, or what people thinks about us. I don't know, what do you think about it?
Well, just like you, I mean, there are many stereotypes that are negative. There are some others that are positive. Some of them in part are true, but we don't realize them as stereotypes. No, we don't, as for example, the gesture, the famous gesture is one of the main things that people from my country, Venezuela, say when you mention an Italian, and you mention an Italian and they always do like this. So it's, I mean,
yeah, you cannot see my hands, but I didn't move it so far.
Exactly, everybody moves their own hands now. But in fact, it's true. I mean, maybe some Italians, I mean, they move their hands in a specific way. Venezuelans move their hands in a specific way. But you know, it is very particular when you notice that among different people. I don't know, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I lived abroad for some time. I was lucky enough to live in Japan. Then, I worked in Thailand and in Germany. So I studied in the United States and in United Kingdom. So I was an Italian living abroad. And of course, I can say that I was both victim and I was also, the hero, of Italian stereotypes. So, I was victim of both positive and negative stereotypes. But I think this is true for every, country, or, every population. What I've experienced is that we are very much loved abroad. So there's a sense of, Italians that we should embrace even more, of the love for our, country, for our food. And what you do, Valeria, is exactly, that, so you try, to take, I think, what I like about your project, you try to think, to take, those stereotypes, and you try, to maybe transform them into real experiences, so that, they go home and they can say, yes, it's completely true that pasta is totally different. Or, you know what? I thought, that Italians were different, and, I'm surprised. I mean, so that's super good. I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, but first, sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, because there was one question here in the chat.
Okay.
From Rami Beje. I don't know if I pronounce it properly. And it's for you. Why the name is Vita Semplice?
Okay. As I said before, it was like a long process that involved all my students. I asked them suggestions. A lot of weird name came out. I don't remember exactly what type, but in the end, the first point was putting an Italian name or an English name that can be more direct to like worldwide, because maybe English, when you read a name in English, is easier to understand. But then came out that like people who already are interested into Italian and Italian culture probably prefer an Italian name. So Vita Semplice in Italia was a name that everybody liked in the end, that came to my mind to describe what exactly means to be in my hometown in Sicily, and reflect exactly what I want people experience there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because, the experience you have during my retreats is something very, very simple. So it's something that I put clear before people arrive. This will be Sicily through my eyes. You are going to do the things that I usually do daily. You are meeting my friends, my family, the people I usually meet in the town, my pizzeria preferita and my panetteria. You will meet like my friend who does the best pasta di nocciola of the town. So everything will be slow, will be simple, will be genuine, will be prepared in advance for you, because you pay and you arrive from the other part of the world, but it can change, it can be relaxed. So I thought it was the perfect name to describe all these things, Vita Semplice. It was like the right name. I guess it might change in the future, I don't know.
No, that's nice.
Yes, as we were talking about foreigners, how other people see in Italians, what do you think we can learn, we Italians can learn from your clients, from visitors? What can we learn from them?
Yeah. Of course, it depends. Every culture is different. So for me, the fact per se to meet someone of another culture is a matter of enrichment. So we can learn to accept different views. For example, I'm not going to list like from every culture what we can learn, like from Venezuelan we can learn.
What did you learn, Valeria? What did you learn in those retreats, in those experiences? What did you learn personally?
Yeah. I've learned this sense of acceptance, I guess, is the best thing, but it's not coming only from retreats, because I'm sharing my flat with international people. So I grew up since I was 18 with international people all the time, and the fact, like they are simple things that make you think out of your box, because you grow up in your culture with some beliefs, and then when you see how other people behave, you understand that your way of living is not the only one. So you accept, you change, you grow, you develop, and you embrace other way of living. For like stupid example is me having lunch at 6, and everybody in Sicily don't understand this because it's weird. But at one point, like I was surrounded by people from Northeast Europe eating at 6, and I thought, I'm really hungry. I want to have my dinner now. So you become more flexible. You embrace. I think this. I don't know if it was clear what I said.
Yes, you were.
Yes, very clear. And what do you think foreigners can learn from us, in your opinion, from Italians? What can we teach them?
Yeah, I was thinking about Vita Semplice. So the first thing that came out was the sense of community, probably. The sense of being able to be together, which means not only organizing a aperitivo or a dinner, but is the purpose that is different. So we do that in order to stay together all that time that can be very long. So this sense of everyone does one thing for the dinner, for example, or one of the people wash the dishes. So it's a process, it's very long, and it takes time. And that time is something that we like to preserve. So I think we live slower than other culture. And just according to my project, I liked this question because it's something that is very close for me, is very important for me, because the project is not all around tourism, but it's more about connections. So it's when one of the students helped me to find my motto, he said, take with yourself a part of the place and live in the place a part of you. And this is this sense of exchange. That's the point of Vita Semplice. So people who lives in Italy, who lives in a small town like mine, like where I grew up, can actually take a lot, because they are used to stay in a town where they are a bit closed. They see the same people every day. But if you open this door to other people who arrives, everybody can teach you something, and you can teach something to others. So Marta, my last client who came, told me, I was amazed from the fact that every person I've met had something to teach me. Everybody had knowledge about a different field of the town, like nature, cuisine, history, the history of Arabians rising and creating the historical center, traditions, wild vegetables, everything. So everybody has like a specific knowledge to teach. And yeah, I think this is the resource of the project, at least for me.
Nice. Do you want to ask this one? And then the last one.
Oh, yes, yes. Actually, I wanted to ask you also, what is the most important thing in your project? Why are you doing this project?
What's my why?
Yes, what's your why?
In a certain way, I already said this. So the first value for me is this sense of community. I always repeat myself that when we are sad or when we are lost, it's because nowadays we have lost this sense of community, this sense of have a group of people who support you. And at one point of my life, I felt like this. Okay, I'm waking up, I'm going to my office, working, finish work, going outside, and then repeat. But where is the community? I ask myself, what was the best time of my life if I look at the past? And the best period of my life was when I was with my guys, with my friends, in the period of when I was a teenager. I was a scout, so I did camping. I spent a lot of time in nature. And then I realized that if you can reproduce in your present the same situation that made you happy in the past, then probably you are in the right direction for your happiness and health. So the sense of community, that means for me to coming back into my hometown, have a web of people who support each other and I can support, making people who arrive feel at home and maybe come back, because one bought a house, the second one want to marry in Sicily, and the third promised to come back every year. So it's not only learning Italian, it's not only coming for a vacation, it's feeling part of something, like going deeper and really meet the people and do maybe deeper conversations.
Sense of belonging.
Yeah, exactly. A sense of belonging, a sense of respect for those places, for the people who lives there, a sense of respect for the nature and impact on society in a certain way.
Tell us, Valeria, your future projects. Where do you see Vita Semplice in the coming months?
Yeah, it's a big question because I've just started, and these 4 retreats will be my first. So I did the first 2, and I was so proud of myself, because before I had a big anxiety. I felt, okay, I don't want to do them anymore. The first one sent me confirmation. I was like, okay, I won't post anything on Instagram forever, ever. But then I did the first one, and the day I left, the girl left, I was crying and I couldn't stop crying. And I said, oh my God, how I can go there and say goodbye with this face? And she noticed me and she said, okay, you can cry, you have to cry, because a lot of emotion we experience it together needs to like go through your body to your mind. And this gave me power to do the second retreat, that it was positive, and it would give me more energy to do the rest of the year. And of course, I think at the end of the year, I will pick everything and I'm trying to understand how to improve it. But basically, short-time goal is to improve my relationship. So finding more people to work with, finding more association to interact with, finding new realities in Sicily, because I know that there are a lot of interesting projects that I don't know, and potentially I could collaborate with that enrich the retreat and make me feel better in this like purpose of creating a community that aligns with my values.
That's wonderful. And you know what, Valeria, Angelica always jokes with me and she calls me the ambassador of Italy, you know, because whenever her friends, you know, or family, they come, you know, to visit us, you know, I always, you know, try to explain, and I really love our country. So she tells me, okay, now comes the ambassador, you know, with a new story. But
the thing is that it's contagious. It's contagious. So I'm the ambassador too now.
Yes, but what I wanted to say is that we are, you know, we are the country with the most UNESCO heritage sites, you know, in the world, and we should be proud of that. But however, many of those sites, and then many of, you know, our small towns and villages, they are completely not forgot, but they are not discovered. So, you know, part of our project of Broccoli also relates very much with what you do. So trying, you know, to basically find out, discover new realities that do amazing, you know, jobs, amazing stuff, maybe wonderful landscapes, but they're not called Venice, they are not called Bologna, they are not called Palermo, you know, they are called maybe Varzi, they are called, you know, they have other names, or, you know, there are other entities, other traditions, other, you know, food. And so one of the beauty of your project is precisely this, you know, that you also give a different face, you know, different, you know, you make the tourists wear different hats, you know, of Italy, and that's wonderful.
That's really nice. And just to conclude, there is another connection between your project or your origins and ours, because you were saying at the beginning, and just to round it up, that your grandma was born in New York, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I don't know if you remember, or if we already told you that our name Broccoli is inspired by the States, because broccoli was with the Epsilon as our brand, was the pejorative name that Americans gave to Italians when they arrived to New York and they couldn't pronounce Brooklyn. They couldn't pronounce that. They said broccoli. So they were called the Broccolis at the beginning in a pejorative way, but with the time, the Italians there, the Italian community, as you said before, just, we agree with you. I mean, Italians can make community abroad, and that's a very good value. And that, in part, was one of the reasons for them to gain respect abroad. So with our project, we talk also about that. Now the connections between different cultures, between Italians abroad and foreign people here in Italy, as me. I mean, I love Italy, even when I didn't have any connection before with Italy. I learned Italian because I love the Italian language.
Laura Pausini. She was in love with Laura Pausini.
Yes, in Spanish. I didn't know she was Italian until I was an adult. So, I mean,
yeah. Where are you based? Normally.
Now we are based in Voghera. It's beautiful to Voghera, provincia di Pavia. Now.
Yeah, in Pavia province, basically. Yes, it's a wonderful region at the crossroads of basically 4 regions: Lombardy, Liguria, Piemonte, and Emilia-Romagna. So food is also amazing, and of course you are very much invited here to visit us.
Yes. Just here we have discovered like 3 or 4 borghi più belli d'Italia, one of the most beautiful towns in Italy, like 3 around here.
Yes, so, but wherever you go in Italy, you find this. So that's the beauty. I'm sure that Valeria can say the same around Bologna, or even around her beloved Sicily. Yeah. So Valeria, thank you so much for this conversation. I hope that all the people connected with us, they enjoyed as much as we did, and hopefully we can connect again. Sure. Maybe after summer, after some of your new retreats and experiences, so we can share again.
Thank you for inviting me. If you come back to Bologna for some reason, just send me a message and we can meet again. Thank you, really thank you.
Thank you for your time. Yeah, thank you everybody for listening.
Grazie a tutti, una buona serata. Ciao Valeria, ciao a tutti.
Ciao.